We're fortunate to have with us today one of the world's leading wellness and fitness experts. 4 or 5 years ago, I came in contact with Kathy and her organization and became very, very impressed with Kathy and everything that she's done over her life. She's produced and starred in more than 40 fitness videos and DVDs and is one of the industry's top presenters. She's the author of Lift Weights to Lose Weight and Moving Through Menopause. Now, Health Magazine voted her DVD as the best strength training DVD of 2005. Please welcome to the stage, Kathy Smith.
I like to move it. You like to move it. I like to move it.
So we're going to start talking about how to actually take action here. 4 simple ways. With strength training, with cardiovascular training, aerobic training, with flexibility and stress reduction, and then that 4-letter word that we don't like to talk about, which is diet. And let's just jump in and start right away with strength training and why strength training is so important. Again, after the age of about 28 or 30, every single year you start to lose 1/4 to 1/2 pound of muscle. And what does that mean? That every single year as you lose that muscle mass, your metabolism slows down. So by the time you're in your late 30s, early 40s, and then late 40s, you have started to gain weight. And if I go around, you start to get the love handles, you start to get on the back of the arms, you start to get in the hips down here. Part of what's happening is that your metabolism's slowing down. And that the way that you can reverse that, and the most magical way that you can do that, is by starting a strength training program. The other thing that happens is that as we lose muscle mass, as we start to age, we lose the ability to function in everyday life. Now again, this doesn't show up until about our 50s, but your balance starts to go off a little bit. Simple things like going up a flight of stairs becomes more difficult, sitting down in a seat, getting out of a car. Again, you're losing muscle mass. The other thing that happens is we start to lose bone density. So one of the reasons why we strength train is because as we stress a muscle when we strength train, we're also stressing the bone, which allows us to keep the bone mass on. So let me show you about the core and explain a little bit about this area. The core is made up of different muscle groups. And you don't have to remember any of these names, but I'm just going to throw them out there. You have the rectus abdominis. Now those are the ones that are connected from your rib cage down to your hips. And those are the ones that are your crunching muscles. Okay, so if I got on the floor or if you see somebody crunching, those are your rectus and those are the ones that give you that 6-pack abs. Then you have your obliques, your internal and external obliques. And those are the ones that run across your waistline, down both directions. And they come across like this. And those are your waist muscles. So just remember those. Those are the ones that help twist you. And those are the waist muscles. The ones that I want to focus on today, they're called your transverse abdominis. They start here and they go around your belly all the way to your spine. So it's almost like they are a girdle or a built-in Spanx right there on your body. Nice, huh? To have your own Spanx right there. Cheap, except you have to work them. So this is what happens though. When your transverse muscles are your posture muscles. When you don't have strong posture muscles, what happens is you start to get droopy. And if I go this side, I'm going to show you. If I start to not use my transverse muscles, what happens is that this pooches out, and if I had more belly fat, it would pooch out more. I start to put pressure on my lower back here, and this gets poochier and poochier. And what happens if I start to train my transverse, I pull them in, and then I start to stack my spine, shoulders over hips on top of each other. Now, here's a very simple way to practice working your transverse muscles. If I have a waistband on, or if I had a pair of jeans or a skirt on, I would just take and I would pull my belly button away from my waistband. And that simple movement right there is starting to work my transverse abdominis. Now, what's the good news about that? You never have to get on the floor and do a crunch again. I don't get on the floor and do crunches. You never have to get down there, but you can while you're sitting in your chair. You can while you're standing in line at the grocery store, or while you're watching TV, be working those muscles, which will then help support your back, They'll help support which will help prevent some back pain. They'll also give you the posture that you want and create an energy boost, because when you're standing upright and you don't go into the slumping motion, remember, where the body goes, the mind follows. Okay, if I asked one of you to run up, or any of you to run up on stage, and I had a balance beam here, and it was 4 inches wide, let's even make it 6 inches wide, 6 inches high. And I said, can you walk from one side of the stage to the other on that balance beam? If so, I'll give you $1,000. Everybody would say, yeah, I can do that. I'm doing my Bosu, I'm doing my balance, I'm doing my yoga, I'll do it. Now, what if I told you that I was going to string that balance beam between 2 buildings, and they were 15 stories high? And I'd say, okay, who's going to walk to the other side? I would say that if most of you have, I'm looking out and everybody looks very sane. So it's like, I would imagine everybody's going, no, not me. My balance isn't that good. I'm not going to try it. But now what if I told you, you're on this hotel, you're on this high rise, and over here the building's burning, and your child is at the top of that building. Now you would crawl, you would shuffle, you would do whatever, because you have a very strong reason to get over there. And that's what's important when you go, when I sit down and I do my goal setting, whatever, my mind goes like this. I have a million ideas a day, but I always check in, because if I'm not really, really excited about something, it's never going to happen. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I took that to heart, and all I did for the next 8 miles is next step, next step, next step. And what I learned there, and that's my next game changer, is that you have to learn how to shift your mindset, because we are all so much more capable than we give ourselves credit for. We can do so much, but what happens is our brains and our emotions and our minds start telling us, we're not strong enough, we're not skinny enough, we're not bright enough, we're not smart enough, we're not this enough, we're not that enough. And all those things slow you down. They pull you back. Oh, I can't do that. I could never go on stage. I don't know how to do that. I would be too afraid. So what happens is those emotions, whether it's in business or in our personal life, start to shut us down. So what I've learned for myself, and by the way, you see me up here and talking, and I've done so much through my career, but it didn't necessarily come naturally. It wasn't the thing that I would get on the Oprah show, or I was the correspondent for the Today Show, or I was, I had a LA Times regular article every week in the LA Times, and every time I stepped into a new area, just like Sarah was talking about this morning, my heart would be going like this. I couldn't get my thoughts together. And what I did is I started working on this technique that I want to share with you today. And now let's just take a minute and inhale and exhale. And again, take a breath, inhale, and let it all out, exhale. Now on this next inhale, I want you to take 4 counts to take it up. Inhale, and at the top of the inhale, I want you to hold it there. Hold it for 4 counts. And exhale. Let's just do it 2 more times. Take it to the top of the inhale, hold it, and now listen for the sounds around you. Whatever it might be, life gets in the way, and you can't stay on track. So here are my 10 laws for living lean. Number 2, you need to create a home and an environment that can keep you healthy. It starts in the home, and more importantly, it starts at the supermarket. Remember, if you don't bring it in your house, if you don't buy it, you're not going to eat it. So having a shopping list, making sure that things that you bring in your home are things that you want you and your family to be eating is of utmost importance. Detach mood from food.